Alright everybody, it's 4 o'clock, same as yesterday. It's time for another banjo race. Hopefully this time my microphone won't be cut off for like a quarter of one of the races. That was very fun. Today we got Znernicus and Thunderstorm. Say hi everyone.
Hello.
Yo,
Yep, we're still in the winner's bracket. This is round 2, and so yeah, no one getting eliminated yet. Very good. How are you both feeling about today's race? Start with Thunder, I guess.
Only a little bit more prepared because I did 2 runs against Dango a couple days ago. So not very prepared.
Yeah, nice. Kind of a recency. You know, you've had fun practicing it. A little practice, I guess. How about you, Znernicus?
I guess I feel okay. I hope I can play as well as I did in my match versus General Toucans, because I think I did okay on that one.
Yeah.
Except for the Mingy Django visit, but
yeah. Well, we saw that
we'll
we
see.
saw that yesterday too, so
That's hilarious.
At least you're not the only one who's done that. Yeah, Asmi did
Yeah.
that in the first race that you missed out on, so so yeah. Have you been playing much since that race, or just the little bit of practice beforehand kind of thing?
I just practiced like last night and the night before a little bit off stream, but
Yeah.
not many full runs or anything. Like no serious PB attempts either.
Yeah. DK64 rando too good.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a rando tournament also.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like split brained at the moment. And also I just got back from No Reset, the event in Montreal where we did a No Levels Early co-op run.
Okay.
So I had a lot of fun. I would recommend fans of DK64 check that out if you haven't seen it.
Alright.
Not sure if they uploaded it to YouTube. I think they did. But yeah.
Was it like streamed on Twitch? Like, are there VODs to look
Yes.
at? Or?
Yes, it was a live event streamed to Twitch on the No Reset channel, or No Reset Speedrun channel.
Okay.
And we did like 5 players, 5 Kongs. Like one player plays each Kong. So I'm DK in that race.
So like
But it's not a race,
every time you
co-op
switch
run.
Kongs, you had to pass off the controller kind of thing?
Exactly. That's the concept.
That's really funny. I like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun for a 101 kind of thing.
Yeah, we did that too, but not in the main marathon.
Yeah.
Just like for fun in the hotel room.
I miss hotel room shenanigans. Good days.
Yeah.
Good days. All right, are you both ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
Yes.
Sick. All right. Well, I hope for a good game one from you both. So start it up in 3, 2, 1, go, and good luck.
Good luck.
All right, I'll drag them out. My timer isn't at 3.77, but it will be. I mean, hopefully synced with them. So let's get Thunder's audio. Get rid of mine. There we go. Oh, Thunder a little bit too close for Klungo cutscene skip. So, Znernicus going to be off to a bit of a head start today. PBs are pretty close. They're only 20 seconds out from each other. 43-41 versus 43-21. Or, yeah, Znernicus has 21, but I think the time I have for him from the leaderboard is 20. So it was like retimed to be a little faster. So, let me go ahead and turn down Thunder a little bit. I think he's a little bit, whoops, a little bit loud. Now he's a little bit too quiet. Okay, I think that sounds fine for me. I don't know if that sounds fine for you guys. Game sound compared to my own audio. Got double blue potion going on, so not much of a, well, I was going to say not much of a lead, but I mean, Znernicus looks like he's going to be doing the quote-unquote YOLO shot. Got lucky with that one. The clone decided to run away to the correct direction. And it looks like Thunder is probably going to be just pecking. Oh, no, Thunder might be. Nope, Thunder's going to just peck. So the nice easy, make sure you pick the right one. I noticed both Znernicus and Asmi go for the egg shot. I guess at the very least, like, you can always look and see where the first Klungo runs, but I feel like in order to do the egg shot, you kind of have to be dedicated to the egg, like, regardless of how the Klungo clone runs. So if you hit a wrong clone, it's like, oops, better luck next game. But, I mean, if you get lucky, then it's just, you know, a normal race. So, I'm not really sure what the mentality is behind doing it, but it's a nice setup for a red house jump. So, Znernicus, in his first race against General Toucans that ended up getting scrapped, that one he went 2-1. So it would be interesting, or not interesting, I guess, but it would be nice to see more 2 runs, or 2-1 scores in these tournament races. I mean, obviously it's more work for me, because I have to be here for another 45 to 50 minutes. But, I mean, 2-0 sweeps are just like... It's not that they're boring to watch, but... Especially if they're close. If they're really close, then it's still nail-biting, but it just feels so bad to get kind of beaten 2-0. But, again, both of them have had pretty busy schedules. Sunder in the, you know, prospect of moving. Znernicus not only going to live events, but also, you know, playing in another tournament at the moment. It's one of the reasons why I don't like hosting more than one tournament at a time. Well, not only because it kind of drains all of my free time outside of Twitch, but also it's really hard for people being in 2 separate tournaments at the same time. Like, especially if people are in Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie tournaments at the same time. Just because they're similar enough that you can kind of, you know, be good enough, but they're also different enough that, you know, the movement in one might mess up the movement in another. Alright, Znernicus going for the front. A little bit of an awkward camera setup for it, though. Taking a few tries to get in, but nice third try beak bust. See what Sunder does. I really like Queen Snoopy's setup for doing the front. Oh, no, you can't do this, Sunder. Yeah, now your camera is faced like the opposite direction. This is a really awkward camera angle, too. Yeah, I would get myself a little bit more of an angle, because it's like almost entirely straight. Just a little bit more, a little too much. That's why I don't like this camera angle, because you kind of have to change the way that you move. Oh, this is very heartbreaking. Yeah, absolutely rough. Yeah, Sunder lost almost a minute on... lost almost a minute on his Enter GGM split. Definitely not a good way to start the race. So, yeah, Znernicus is very thoroughly in the lead. And I mean, like, I'm looking at their splits. Yeah, that's true. It's like you never know what's gonna happen, but I mean, it's just one of those, like, you know, how will it ever kind of catch up to him, right? It's like, I mean, Thunderstorm's sum of best is 42.55, and Znernicus' best possible time is a 42.47 right now. Root Dream, alright. Redeems timeout. I need to get a faster way of doing that. See you in a minute. Alright, Znernicus starting the fun part. The fun part of GGM now. Of course, it's not very fun if you have, like, bad movement here. Like, doing this section well with, like, you know, good jumps, you don't get stuck on anything, you don't end up missing, like, any of the ledges kind of thing, you make it there with the flap. It was a nice slide into a backflip as well. I always really struggle with that movement myself. I just kind of backflip straight up and then kind of move into Talon Trot. Alright, Sunder with a pretty good detonator section. A little bit awkward on the waterfall. I talked about that a little bit in depth yesterday. But when you're holding up against the wall when you're like still underwater, it takes a while for you to surface. It's good if you jump in the water like too late. It's always good to hold your stick neutral for just like, you know, a fraction of a second. That way you can just quickly rise in the water without losing your too much of your forward momentum. Not that there's much in the water, it does kind of, you know, stop you, or not stop you, but you're slower in the water than you are on land. Banjo-Tooie facts with GDO. Ooh, I thought Sunder was not going to quite make it to that boulder. Woo! Znernicus went over to like the far left side of that lamp, which is kind of awkward. If you go that far over, I would have thought he was going to miss the lamp entirely, but I know he said he usually practices Power Hut Basement a little bit before the race starts. Just to make sure, you know, you don't accidentally fall down and die. Sunder not quite moving up enough. Ooh, that was a really nice backflip onto the ladder there. I thought for sure he was going to be kind of, you know, stuck underneath the bottom. That kind of tends to happen sometimes. Yeah, every day is a school day. There's always something new to learn in a video game. Which is both like a blessing and a curse. Speedrunning is one of like the best and worst things that ever happened to me in terms of video game enjoyment. Because I mean, not only have I like, you know, played so much Banjo-Tooie, and I've played other speed games too. I haven't really interacted with any other speed communities, except I did a little bit for Sonic Adventure 2, but that's about it. But so there's that kind of enjoyment that kind of came out of it. But it's just, you can't once you've been in the speedrunning spectrum, you can't enjoy video games normally anymore. There's always got to be some catch. You got to figure out some sort of way of movement. You think, I wonder if I could be doing this faster. I wonder what kind of glitches this game has. It's really hard to put that aside and just play the damn video game. Alright, 92 puzzle from Znernicus. Sunder's still a little bit of ways from doing his first puzzle. Never need to buy games when you're playing the same one for 25 years. This is very true. I definitely branched out to more games a lot when I was younger. Before Banjo-Tooie came along, I think I'd put the most time into Tales of Symphonia. And I mean, I played a lot of GameCube and 64 games. Tales of Symphonia and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask were definitely my most played video games going through high school, for sure. They were definitely top 2 video games of all time. And then I played Banjo-Tooie in high school, because at the end of high school, because a friend of mine owned the game and he lent it to me. And I thought it was just so cool. I wasn't interested in speedrunning it back then because I didn't really know what speedrunning was until I was like in grade 12-ish, I guess. That's when I found SDA. Alright, Sunder with a 90 MT puzzle. So Znernicus on top so far in puzzles. Nice JSG early. I'm always too much of a coward to like face towards the right like that. For me, it's got to be left and down. Nowadays, though, is definitely the era of indie games. Like, I find myself less looking at console games and more looking at just, you know, stuff on Steam. Smaller games that'll, you know, I'll play for a few days, beat, and then just have a lot of fun with. I don't know if this is like just a me thing or if, you know, more people feel like this, but I feel like game replayability has definitely gone down over the years. Ooh, nice build drill from Znernicus. You gotta get into like roguelikes or something. That was a very flat Jade Snake Grove early. I'm shocked that worked for Sunder. I think both of them had really sketchy looking Jade Snake Grove earlies. But whatever, as long as you get in, no big deal, right? Oh, Znernicus didn't believe. Oh, that's not good. I hope he doesn't try to beak bust this, or beak bomb this. He didn't. Good. He's absolutely not picking up this Jiggy in flight here. Oh, that's a big mistake from Znernicus. Yeah. From the moment he rubbed against the side, there was no way one beak bust or beak bomb was making it up there. This is going to be a really awkward section for Znernicus because he needs the treble clef and to get over to Bovina, but he also needs the Jiggy up at the top. Oh, any bonks. I feel like bonks always come when runners need them to the least. Or want them to the least, I guess. They never need them. So, I mean, you could beak bomb through the treble clef, then up to the jiggy, then over to Bovina's field. Like, that's really the only way to make it work. I mean, or Znernicus could just drop down and run. Oh god, Sunder's missing the jiggy too. Yeah, okay, so he just dropped down, ran to the treble. I guess that's the best thing you could have done, but still, having to go up there again, definitely time lost. Sunder definitely made it easier for Znernicus by missing the jiggy on top a few times. But I think he saved a little bit. When it rains, it pours, absolutely. I believe sometimes I just call it win more. Alright, into prison compound. Znernicus is back on track. Obviously, Sunder praying for first strike code, Znernicus praying for first strike code. But we'll see if there's any sort of edge for Sunder in the prison compound. Because, I mean, yeah, the mistakes are, like, you know, happening for Znernicus, but unfortunately for Sunder, he's also making mistakes. So, yeah, he's catching up, but he's also not catching up, if you know what I mean. Alright, second try for Znernicus happening. Alright, so we got second try code. Best possible time for between the two of them is still just over a minute, favored for Znernicus. Oh, taking a bonk from the Mogi. Oh, and Sunder with possibly the laggiest camera angle I've ever seen, getting spat over. You definitely don't want the camera pointing at the prison cell. Alright, no luck getting ahead for Sunder. Oh, third try code. Oh, that's a yikes. Third try code is just such a feels bad, man. Like, no matter whether you're doing a run, whether you're doing a race, it just kind of destroys all your momentum. Because in a run, it's like, well, I guess my run is over. I mean, if your time is banked on, you know, if your time is banked on getting first try code. But then in a run, or in a race, it's like, well, GG, I guess, to my opponent. There really isn't any, like... I mean, even second try code is like, you know, it still feels bad. But it's like, yeah, okay, we take those. Sure, why not? May as well. I didn't see what time Znernicus got on that puzzle. I was watching Sunder's movement a little more there. Oh, that's the worst. Accidentally, like, flapping into the rope. I still am not sure, like, which direction to hold in order to, like, get off the rope well enough. Because you kind of want to just hop off the rope, but you're facing the right. Like, I think you just don't want to flap, but you're like mashing to get off. It's one of those things. I'm sure I could just watch someone do it, but ooh, almost an 86. Very high 85 GGM puzzle. Alright, now we got Znernicus doing Witchy World. Kind of unfortunate with the pieces at the end. Not a bad puzzle though. An 85 Witchy World is definitely a good puzzle. It's really easy to get, you know, for lack of a better word, shanked by the pieces. There's a lot of really awkward, you know, when the camera pans around, you know, sometimes the sky is hard to fill in, sometimes the sand is hard to fill in, sometimes the wooden walls are hard to fill in. I've said that in a lot of races, I'm sure, but I'm sure I'll keep doing it too. Yeah, like Sunder starting with the very floor is just kind of like an awkward start. Being extra careful to pick up the right pieces. Unfortunately, the safety kind of costs a little bit of time. 81 puzzle to Znernicus' 85. But puzzles be hard. They really do. I mean, Znernicus, when we were setting up in the pre-race lobby, he was doing nothing but practicing puzzles, so... When the puzzle practice pays, it's one of those things that's just, it's so terrible to practice. But it's definitely worth it when it pays off. It's like another thing that really sucks to practice, in my opinion anyway. I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but I think practicing Hag 1 is one of the hardest things. But, I mean, it makes up a good chunk of the run. You know, the run for these folks is 43 minutes, right? 7 of those minutes are Hag 1, so it's like a sixth of the run. Almost. Just over. Not that you spend a whole lot of it doing things. There are a lot of cutscenes during the Hag 1 fight, but... You know, practicing your quick shots, and then you gotta, you know, practice your... just, I guess, movement in general, lag reduction strats. Znernicus being eluded by the note. Alright, I like that both of them dodge the fruity coin in the right way at the very beginning, just so it doesn't kind of start chasing them. I feel like that's something a lot of people do wrong, is they kind of try and dodge around the fruity at the beginning, and then they kind of get nailed by the pizza. Is it a slot machine? Is it a pizza oven? Perhaps we'll never know. Does it drop a ticket, or does it drop a receipt for your pizza? These are the real questions. Does Conga ask for 4 tickets for access into the big tent, or does he ask for proof that you bought 4 pizzas? Whew! I thought Sunder was jumping into that coin. Man, Znernicus has a lot of red feathers. I guess he must have picked up a feather nest going up the tent. These questions need answers, they indeed do. It's when everyone needs to just at Grant Kirkhope on Twitter. Just like, hey, we need answers to these questions. And meanwhile, he's just like, I don't know you guys. I just wrote the music. Don't ask me these things. Alright, nice rope lineup from Sunder. See if he can do the... I was gonna say, see if he can do the rest of it. And, you know... not slide down. The tent be messing everyone up for sure. Alright, Sunder finishing up his Witchy World. All he needs to do is hit the button. An extra grenade just for the hell of it. Znernicus with us, still with a pretty healthy lead. And it's probably gonna like remain healthy. Looking at the way Znernicus' run has been going. I mean, even if Znernicus makes some pretty big mistakes, it's gonna have to be like an omega big mistake. Not that we haven't seen omega big mistakes happen. I mean, Znernicus did it in his previous race. But that kind of thing probably wouldn't cost an entire minute, selecting the wrong boss from the menu. Well, it depends on the boss, but I mean, you gotta be blind in order to, you know. Alright, Sunder filling in all the edges first. The go-go TBC strat. Sunder, if it didn't fit in there the first time, why would it fit in there the second time? Sometimes you think the piece is over the right spot to put it in, and so you press A, and then it like... It's like it knows that you're trying to put it in that piece, or in that spot, and so it just moves over. It's like the pieces are sentient. I mean, the Jiggies talk, when they talk to you in Banjo-Kazooie, they have eyes, right? But it's funny, when you go to collect them, they don't have eyes. So it's like, what is it, Rare? Which is it? Why did you design them two different ways? But I mean, I guess everything else is the same way. The notes also have eyes. I guess the Mumbo tokens and the 1-ups kind of just talk to you as is. The 1-up just kind of flexes its muscles. I always thought that the way the health refill honeycomb spoke to you was the funniest, because it's just like it's like it's got its mouth like glued together with honey, right? It's like The boulders in Spiral Mountain, yeah. I mean, it's like the boulders, sure. I mean, then you got all the vegetables as well. Yeah, sticky, tasty honey, is that what they call themselves? Its mouth was full of bees. Yeah, then it would make sort of a buzzing sound. Like when the honey hives, when they talk to you, they have like a buzzing sound, because I mean they're literally beehives, right? So. Alright, Znernicus be fast swimming? I guess a death to the eels could catch Sunder up quite a bit. But, I mean, Sunder's done pretty, or Znernicus has done pretty well fast swimming. You know, the second to last air bubble just ran out when he was entering, so at that point you can get hit by the eels like 3 or 4 times and you'd still probably make it to the surface. Yeah, it does. I mean, if the eels hit you once, I think it's fine, but at that point, it might almost be worth it to purposefully go for Zombie Banjo. But it's hard against the eels. Ooh, that was an awkward camera angle from Znernicus. Kind of laggy, but I thought he was also going to kind of just jump off. Alright, yeah, both of them had about the same fast swimming. Ooh, nice quick dive from Znernicus. I wonder if that was on purpose or not. Quick diving in Banjo-Tooie is like, it's not the same as Banjo-Kazooie where you like dive all the way down. You can do that with gold feathers, but not like the same way that you kind of slide off the edge. Another bonk for Sunder. In Banjo-Tooie, if you kind of slide off an edge and land in the water at like just the right time, you can immediately dive. So you don't have to like wait for your like animation of like entering the water to end. You can just immediately press B. Ah, nice meme sign. I feel like overall this race probably would have been really close if Sunder hadn't you know, had such an awful beginning. Because I mean, aside from, you know, RNG this, puzzle that, which I guess is still RNG, Sunder really hasn't had that bad of a run. Like, all in all, I'm trying to think of what his time was leaving off the beginning, but I mean, the Klungo one was pretty but I think it was like a minute 30 kind of thing, plus a minute 30 by enter GGM, and I mean, right now it's only like plus 2 minutes, whereas Znernicus has gone up to plus 58 seconds already. So if Sunder wouldn't have lost that full minute to GGM early, minus like the 20 second his PB is behind, it probably would have been pretty close to even. The accidental backflips. Gotta love them. It's like you're just trying to jump in Talon Trot, but the game, you know, decided otherwise. So yeah, Sunder currently plus 151. Best possible time of 45.31. And Znernicus has a best possible time of 44.13, so... yeah, like I said, I think without that first split, or that second split from Sunder, they probably would have been on about the same pace of run. Around, you know, plus 50 seconds each. Which obviously benefits Znernicus more than it does Sunder. But, I mean, you know, a lot of the time that Sunder's lost has been made up by 2 bonks, an additional try of code, which is just, you know, it is what it is. But I mean, so that's like you know, 15 to, yeah, around 15 seconds. Maybe a little bit more. But, I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles with this kind of game, right? And I mean, I think everybody knew that going into the tournament, that there was going to be some losses to RNG going on. But I mean, it's really hard to say that at the end of a race, because when you hit the very end of the race, it's like, oh man, I lost because this happened. But meanwhile, you know, there was this and this and this and that and this and that, right? Everything kind of adds up and you take it as a whole. So you could have taken out any one of those things. But I think for Znernicus, the one biggest mistake was missing that Jiggy on top of the temple. But I definitely think he made up for it in the best way possible, without having to like think about it too much or kind of run around and do this and do that. But now it's Hag one time. And I mean, it's still not the end of the story for Sunder. I mean, there have been some really, really terrible Hag ones so far. And I mean, you know, people who kind of, they have a really good pace, they're doing everything they should, but then either the pressure gets to them or, you know, their cat starts meowing or something to distract the concentration, right? There's a lot of things that can go wrong during Hag 1, especially at the end when, you know, everything's on the line. Accidental damage to the laser, the Ugger could be annoying, maybe you keep accidentally getting hit by Grunty and all of a sudden you go into panic mode, so... And Znernicus does have a habit of overshooting grenades, I will say. I mean, we just saw that on the first one, but when Znernicus' aim is off, he doesn't stop firing grenades, which is kind of the way you want to do it. But at the same time, like, it does cause a lot of lag having so many grenades, you know, kind of get shot into the air. So losing a little bit of time to every phase with that isn't so great. But I mean, then you have phases like that. Like, that was a really fast grenade quick shot cycle. So it kind of makes up the time. And I mean, even if you are shooting just infinite grenades at Grunty and not hitting her, I mean, as long as you're only getting 2 cycled, it's no worse than just not shooting grenades at all. So... Sunder is just doing fire egg strats as is, so as long as Znernicus keeps going forward with just keeps going with his grenade quick shots, then he'll be just fine. Hey there, Pink Spaghetti. Nice Mumbo. I mean, the benefit of what Sunder's doing for a lot of people is that it's really hard to do it poorly, just because it's incredibly lenient. So it's just part of the, you know, part of the skill of the game. I mean, overall, the 2 strats don't save that much time over each other, but I mean, it's got to be a few seconds per phase. If not a few seconds, then like, you know, less than 2, but more than 1 kind of thing. I actually don't know the exact timing of a lot of things in this game. Oh, Sunder getting... No, don't move, Sunder, don't move. Just stop. Just stop moving. The missiles always go to kind of... Not where you will show up, but... Makes it easy to move, to hit you if you're moving. Banjo math. I mean, I had to do math yesterday when I had to figure out who won when I had to do a frame count. But I also had to do additional math because Asmi paused his timer, and so I needed additional, like... I hate adding and subtracting seconds. Just because it, like, milliseconds is fine because it, you know, it works in 100, but when you do minutes and seconds and it's like by 60, it's just like a... Especially yesterday. Yesterday, my brain was just so blank. I couldn't talk properly. Like, I kept forgetting words. Like, yesterday was really like a brain got turned off kind of day. Which is funny because I worked yesterday and today I just sat at home doing nothing. I did play a lot of Rock Band today, I will say that. Imperial is great for dividing. Pain to do quick math in. Well, I don't deal much with Imperial anyway, because I'm Canadian. So maybe that makes it even worse. Alright, Znernicus coming up to the end of the fight. Just a few more shots to go. Lots of health. The Ugger is nowhere near him. Just go pull up the BanjoRace channel on Discord just so I can tug him in when the time comes. I think Znernicus has had a pretty okay Hag 1 fight. I mean, aside from the first little bit where the bombardment happened, but it is what it is. Alright, 44-25. I don't know why I ever stop the timer whenever I do it, because I'm always behind, but GG's, Znernicus.
Thanks, GDO.
GG's.
Well, that was looking sketchy for a minute in Mayhem, but then I pulled it together.
Yeah, I think, I said this, I think you pulled off your fix in the best way possible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
It would have been cool if I could have, like, beak-bombed, like a shorter beak-bomb into the treble clef, and then beak-bombed again to the top, and then beak-bombed to the flies, but I thought, realistically, I'm not going to pull off that vertical of an angle, so I'm just going to go to the top and take the time loss walking over from the treble.
Yeah. The old strat that we used to do in no DCW was beak bomb up to the Jiggy and then down to Bovina's field. And then you could have just maybe run to the treble clef and run back, but because you had to go to the Jinjo anyway. But I don't know if that would have been better than just dropping straight down on the treble. I thought what you did was great.
Alright,
and
thanks.
time for Sunder, 45-34. Alright, GG's.
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 So, I wasn't, really watching the rebroadcast, but I did periodically check on our pace. So I could see that I was ahead early from Klungo Cutscene Skip, and
Sunder
more or
had
less
early.
maintained
Sunder had a 6:08 GGM early split.
Dude, my early game,
Yeah.
man, I gotta work on that.
Yeah,
That's rough.
Sunder just never recovered from that. It's just way too much time lost to something, at the beginning.
Right.
Could you see like what I was doing wrong there?
Well, your angle at the beginning was backwards, and so.
Oh yeah, well, right at the start it was bad.
Yeah.
Like I knew that. I just kind of winged it. I mean, then I like set it up and I like couldn't get it.
So your angle, what you were doing at the beginning looked very thin, like it was next to a straight line. and when that happens, you have to move really far forward in order to like move anywhere beyond the line. So I prefer to do a little bit steeper angles, so that way you can move a little bit less. And so that was your problem for the longest time. And then you eventually moved to have like a larger angle for Banjo. And I think at that point you were just used to the smaller angle, and so you were moving forward more, whereas now you had to move less.
Because I usually use a pretty tight angle, because it's like, it's a bit harder to get your shadow to disappear, but like, usually once it does, you're like good.
Yeah.
But I just like wasn't.
I think the big problem was moving from a steep angle to a larger angle, like, because you know, you did so many jumps trying to get it in at a smaller angle, and so now with the larger angle, you're still moving like you would with a smaller angle, and so it's really hard to kind of adjust, you know, when you do more than 2 angles.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I really screwed up the empty flying section, but I kind of like I missed the jiggy, and
so did I.
well,
did you land immediately though? Because
no.
I accidentally like beak bombed past the jiggy without grabbing it, so I had to go back for it later.
Sunder vultured around the jiggy and kind of picked it up and then beak bopped down. But yeah, Sunder, what Znernicus did was Znernicus tried to get the jiggy in flight, which honestly, it was never happening with the way you set it up.
Positioning that I had,
yeah.
It was terrible.
If you rub against the side of the top of the temple, like on your way up, you will never get the jiggy. Unless
the flap is just going to go too high.
Yeah.
At that point.
Well, it's not that you go too high, but it's that you don't go forward enough because you're stopped against the side of the... You're stopped against the side of the thing as you're rising up. So I guess it is kind of... But... So anyways, Znernicus just beak bombed down to Mumbo's immediately without getting the jiggy. And so he had to go back up there again.
That's rough.
Yeah, I think I had exactly 5 feathers at the end, but then I ended up getting the red feather cycle on the rope with the tent, so it didn't matter. But
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I didn't need to pick up reds.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Because I
also
think
was
you
like...
picked up 2 bunches of reds on the tent as well.
Yeah, they just both happened to be red, which wasn't really what I wanted. I like to get a few golds for Hag 1, but it's not that big a deal. Like, I won't wait to get a different color gray feather unless I'm under 5.
Real nice.
Yeah.
I think
the rope climb, it went okay for me. Most of Witcher World was fine, except a little bit slow on the dive to death, like missing the peg to the jiggy once.
Yeah. Sunder had a really beautiful tent, and then the slip down at the top was
I did the same thing in one of my races Dango too. I like fluttered at the worst spot.
Yeah, right in front of the Jinjo. It was overall I think both of you, you know, leaving out the missed Klungo cutscene skip and what happened with GGM early, I think both of you had very similar looking runs. I was comparing your best possible times throughout the race, and I think that despite Sunder's bad RNG throughout the race with 2 bonks and the third try prison code, I think...
What's my other bonk? I thought I only bonked on Talent Torpedo.
You bonked on Talent Torpedo, and you also bonked, I think, on A-Game.
That was me.
That was you. Okay.
I had 2 bonks. I had A-Game and Grip Grab.
Oh, I didn't see you bonk on Grip Grab. I
that was the start of everything going poorly in May.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I must be confusing the one bonk. Sorry, I thought that was Sunder that bonked on A-Game. My bad.
No worries.
I think that despite the RNG difference between the 2 runs, I think you guys stayed pretty in time with each other from MT all the way to the end of the run. So, but, I mean, that kind of benefits you a little bit, Znernicus, I said, because you were...
Well, I mean, I just got out to a decent start. Better. Yeah, you never want to be 6 minutes entering GGM.
Yeah.
It's rough to come back from that.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Alright, do you guys need any sort of break, or are you ready for game number 2?
Just a quick bathroom break.
Okay. Quick bathroom break, and we'll be back So stay tuned for race number 2.
It's good to keep in mind that like I might not want to flap too early, because it'll make me pop up too high or give me less time to hit the beak bomb.
If your beak bomb, if you're good at timing your beak bomb, I mean you don't have to worry about it, right? But
yeah, but you just have like a little bit
some
smaller window.
Some people
the higher
beak
you
bomb
flap.
straight. Some people look down a little bit. My strat, I have to look down and to the left a little bit. So it's like
I look down, but I don't think I need to look left at all.
Yeah. People that don't look left, that just scares me because I keep thinking it's not going to work.
The only time it doesn't work is if I went too high, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Ready for game number 2?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Perfect. All right, Znernicus, y'all ready?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, you guys are still behind for me, so I can on the streams. Okay, game number 2. Good luck. Znernicus is up 1-0. See if we can take it to game 3. So we'll start it up in 3, 2, 1, go. good luck.
Look.
Alright. Let's go ahead and get the race started. I'll pause the screen a little bit. We got exactly started up, and now we are off. Do I have the stream unmuted? Thank goodness I do, otherwise you guys wouldn't have been able to hear me. Alright, Sunder starts off with a nice Klungo cutscene skip, so we're not going to be 14 seconds behind, lagged at the beginning. Ooh, almost missed the shoes. So I hope everyone enjoyed race number 1. I mean, obviously we want to see if Sunder can pull it off with a with a fast GGM early. You know, getting stuck on GGM early for another full minute is just like, you know, 2 runs in a row. It would just be absolutely the worst. Alright, Klungo potions this time. We got red versus green, so Sunder, if he does a good green potion, could get off to a fantastic start, as the green potion has a much faster animation than the red potion. It's one of those basic Banjo-Tooie facts. Sunder with a little bit of a late egg shot, but still manages to hit Klungo. Got very lucky there with his egg. And I do say that, like, got very lucky with his egg. Because, like I said, that was a very late egg shot. Klungo could have easily ran the opposite direction, and then we just never would have heard from him ever again. Well, until we track him down and, you know, go Klungo hunting. So, nice little 5-second head start for Sunder going into the Isle of Hags. Znernicus, I don't think, was very sure about what was going to happen with that feather. Waited a sec. Ooh, got caught on the inside of the door frame, too. But at least first try red house. I think both of them had pretty similar red houses, but just in the opposite way. Znernicus got, like, stuck on the inside of the door and then accidentally rolled on top of the door frame, whereas Sunder just kind of stood on top of the door frame, like lining himself up for a little while. So, I mean, in the end, getting red house jump first try is better than not, depending on your setup. I mean, obviously you don't want a setup that's so slow that, you know, it's, you know, faster to go for 2 tries than it is to set it up once. And then there's also the T-jump as well, where you do the little hop in place just to kind of get your momentum stopped. And that's the one I like doing for sure. So far so good. They haven't had to do anything like super intense yet. Not that there's like too much intensity at the beginning of the run, but you know, I guess losing a minute plus kind of makes it more intense than not. Znernicus jumping into Bottle's house, I'm not super sure I like that, but it's one of those jumps that I feel like is really easy to flap out and Talon Trot on. Same with jumping like down this tunnel as well. A lot of people do it, and I think a lot of people have no problems doing it, but exactly what happened to Znernicus there is why I don't do it. Alright, coming up to the second beak bust of the split. I call this 3 beak busts in my splits, just because it's 3 difficult beak busts you kind of got to do. Although they're not that difficult. Red House, Plateau, and GGM early. Oh, Znernicus accidentally not even pressing the Z button there. Alright, good lineup from Sunder. That was a very awkward first try, but his angle looks good. He's just pretty far back, but nice second or third try GGM early. I really like that. So we're going to be seeing a real race, hopefully. Znernicus has a really steep angle here, but I mean, it should work. Being on the front and the back is incredibly lenient, and so as long as you move like not too far forward, it's really easy to hit it. So we'll see if Sunder, if he can keep up this kind of pace that he's on currently, we could be seeing a PB out of him this race. You know, obviously he's ahead of Znernicus at this point in the race. Still lots of time to be had. You know, in terms of the run, I mean, MT is pretty long. GGM, well, I was gonna say GGM2 is pretty long, but it's really not. There's really nothing that can happen there either. But I mean, we see lots of shenanigans in Witchy World, even though it's not that long as well. Come on, Sunder. Gotta turn your camera a little bit just so you can see where the detonator is standing. There's nothing worse than just, well, I guess there are worse things, but you know what I mean. Being the detonator and just sitting in place when you're expecting like the cutscene to start is just like, ugh. Ooh, this is awkward movement from Sunder. I'm not sure what his camera was doing there or what he thought, but getting hung up on the notes there, definitely not super great movement. Not that it's like, you know, gut-wrenchingly terrible, but, you know, it's a lot easier to be scrutinizing on someone who's ahead than someone who's behind, because it's the onus of the person in the lead to kind of keep the lead, whereas the person in behind, like, you know, they don't really have anything to lose. If they're behind and they get further behind, then it's like, yeah, well, they were already behind. I mean, despite Znernicus having a better PV than Sunder, so therefore being slightly favored in the race. It feels good to root for the underdog, though. And I would say in this race, Sunder definitely is the underdog. You know, his PV is higher than Znernicus. And not only that, but he's already up. Znernicus is already up 1-0 in their set, so if Znernicus wins this, then it's just, you know, it's over. But if Sunder wins this, it forces a game 3, so it's super duper exciting. Nice jump from Znernicus, having to beak bust at the very end, but it's always nice doing... Oh no! Didn't want to do the beak bust at the very end to get up on top, instead falls all the way down. You have such a little time to react to that. I feel like a lot of people probably just wouldn't go for it in general. Because, you know, all of a sudden it's like, now you're even, you know, now your movement's even more awkward. But I feel like a beak bust is probably better than having to do, you know, 3 additional backflips. Or the technical term, whatever it is, the flat flip jump. Ooh, Sunder having a little problems with the ladder here. Now he's facing behind. Oh, doesn't get the re-grab. Sunder, you gotta mash the button. Alright, we got ourselves a sync now. Znernicus caught himself up due to Sunder's blunder. The Sunder blunder. I hope that's not already copyrighted. Yeah, and so now we got a really even race going on. Oh, jumping in Power Hut basement. Sunder always does the, okay. Sunder always does the, jump straight to the second lamp. Yep. Not sync anymore, though. Znernicus, does a faster Power Hut basement. Not only that, but, Sunder got caught on the, second lamp chain. I thought he was going to be falling off, but not quite. One bonk could even this up from Znernicus, so we got that double jam jars happening right now as well. Nice egg shot from Znernicus. That was weird from Sunder. That egg looked like it should have worked, but it didn't. So I don't know if he was too low or if it was because he turned his camera, but I don't think it has anything to do with the camera turn, because it's not like it's unloaded just being slightly off screen like that. Because it kind of was still on screen. You could see the egg like shatter. So maybe it was too low. Alright, Znernicus takes the lead back into going to the first puzzle. Well, he had the lead before, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to do a play-by-play here, you know? Right now, they're at a very chill part of the run, where it's just kind of movement from one area to the next. You know, once we get into MT, there'll be more exciting things to be had. You know, it's funny. I was just looking at, you know, after my little sip of water. Remember to stay hydrated, people. I was just looking at Sunder's sum of best. And I was like, his sum of best really isn't that far off of his PB. Like, Sunder's PB is a 43.41, right? But his sum of best is a 42.55. So that's like 50 seconds-ish. I mean, I guess as you get closer to 42, your sum of best and your PB are gonna like start shrinking a lot. Znernicus doesn't have a best possible time on screen, so I can't really talk about that much. But I guess sub 1 minute best possible time isn't like, you know, compared to your PB, isn't that unheard of when you get into the lower echelons of the run. I guess it's just kind of to the point where, like, you know, I know it's just a number, it's not really a measurement. I mean, it's kind of your measurement of, like, potential, sort of, but not really. But it's one of those, like, I guess if you just grind and spam runs over and over, you'll eventually sink your sum of best just, you know, by doing runs over and over. See, this time I didn't freak out watching Sunder's JSG early. Now that I know what he looks for, it's actually not a bad strat. But I don't know if I could even look at it doing the beak bomb. I actually don't know if there's anyone left in the tournament who does the beak bomb strat for JSG early. Because I don't think Hag does it either. Woo! Alright, Znernicus almost getting yeeted by the cat. And I mean, we talked about that yesterday as well. Asmi was asking how you avoid dying to the Moggy if he's kind of in that position. And exactly what Znernicus did there. Hag was learning it. I mean, it's one of the last things that you should implement, TBH. Nice bill drill there. Because it really doesn't save that much time compared to, like, you know, practicing other stuff. I mean, it is, you know, a little bit of time, though, so. Alright, nice turnaround from Znernicus. Nice, fast, quick turnaround. Very good beak bombs. Almost immediate beak bombs. Let's watch Sunders now. Ooh, gets hit by Unogo Paz. Gets the Jinjo. Nice lineup to the top. Alright. Comparable. Just without the, you know, the silky smooth movement. Oh, and then we get another bonk on egg game for Sunder. You know, I say Fire Egg's Bill Drill seems to be getting a lot of bonks, but I feel like in this tournament I've seen more on egg game than anywhere else. Znernicus with okay flies. Actually, kind of not great flies. I think they could have been... Oh! That beak bomb looked like it was going to be good until like the very last second when it was kind of like, oh, you're aiming a little down there, going for the treble clef. But at least he's going to have a nice lag-free flies. How did that fly dodge all 3 of those eggs? That was insane. Well, I think Sunder had a much better flies than Znernicus, but unfortunately the missed treble clef kind of didn't work out for him. Nice movement down, doesn't take damage. Jumping through the swamp is one of those things that I feel like most people shouldn't be doing. I don't know if it's faster, but you gotta be careful where you do your last jump because you can't leave the wading boots while you're kind of in the post landing from a jump. So a lot of people just kind of end up standing. I feel like your last jump should be a little bit longer, and then kind of like what Sunder did there. Nice third try code from Znernicus. This is going to catch Sunder up a bit if he has good luck. Unless, you know, the Moggy decides to, you know, have more fun. Nope, not first try. Sometimes the Moggy walks really close to the front of the buttons and it, like, damages you onto one of the buttons. Ugh, double third try code. Man, these guys have been getting absolutely yeeted with codes today. What was last race? Second try, third try versus this race, which is third try, third try? Absolutely disgusting. Sometimes that's just how it be, though. Like... Terrible codes are just... I don't know, I'll say it again and again and again. but at least Sunder is not too far behind Znernicus here. Best possible time for Znernicus currently, 43:30. Best possible time for Sunder, 44:16. So it's like 45 minutes, 45 seconds difference, which is about half the time of last race. So not super great, but alright, 86 GGM puzzle on the lower side of average. Nice, almost jiggy fade out, fade in sync. Alright, Sunder going for the age-old edges first strat. Kind of an awkward puzzle piece setup, though. 85. Just feels bad when you realize that the pieces that you have to pick up are just terrible. It's like you don't want to go out of your way to pick up pieces that you think would fit in better, because you lose time just not putting pieces into the board, but sometimes that's just how it be. I really like the order Znernicus is putting in some of these pieces. I feel like the ones at top could have been put in a little bit earlier though, but I don't know how that would have affected I don't know how that would have affected the rest of the puzzle. That could have been a much better puzzle if Znernicus had picked up that one piece when he meant to. Spent a lot of time just with the hand like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Nobody knows. Alright, let's see if Sunder can best Znernicus' puzzle here. Oh, doing a little bit more of the same thing. Sunder's definitely used to putting the puzzle pieces in a lot slower than Znernicus. Like, he's definitely putting pieces in, picking up pieces and putting them in with less mistakes, but just the overall movement of the puzzles is slower. So, I guess that practice that Znernicus does for puzzles really does pay off. And I mean, over the course of 4 puzzles, it's like, I think I said this yesterday, you can save 2 to 3 seconds with good puzzles over bad puzzles. So that times 4 puzzles is like, you know, quite a lot of time. 10 seconds-ish. And it really does affect your speed run, having bad puzzles. More so in the longer categories that do puzzles past JRL, which I guess is, you know, all the puzzles. Well, except for, like, the Cauldron Keep puzzles, I suppose. But those are done in any percent, no DCW, no Bitclip. Whew! I thought Znernicus' Beak Bust was going to miss the button there. Alright, Witchy World time for both runners now that Sunder's in here. Hopefully Sunder can redeem himself on the tent. Because, I mean, such a great run up the tent rope. And, like, to set up the tent rope as well. I felt both of them were pretty slick. But, yeah, missing the Jinjo and then sliding all the way down. It's just so rough. I guess it wasn't missing the Jinjo, but it was like, you know, you want to get into place because you can't just straight up jump to the Jinjo from certain parts of the tent just because you get stuck on the underlip of the little wooden platform it stands on. And that's why so many people have problems with the tent. I mean that, and it kind of bounces, but it kind of doesn't really. So when you're jumping up the tent, it's like, oops, I accidentally came out of Talon Trot. Alright, Znernicus with almost a good enough tent rope. Climb. Oh, came out of Talon Trot, but didn't end up sliding. Oh, missed the Jinjo though. Ooh, Sunder almost missed one of the notes a second time. Didn't get the mid-air jump. Sliding out of Talon Trot on the pool. I always try to go for mid-air jump there because it just, you know, it doesn't matter, but it feels really good to get a mid-air jump there. Oh my god. Bonk number 2 for Sunderstorm. Oh, did Sunder press the wrong button? I mean, still with a good run up. Just not even jumping up the tent. That's kind of funny. Wow, he ran all the way down the tent rope. Yo, that was swag. That was cool as hell. Just showing how good he is at the tent rope. Set up with a bad camera, made it up, and then just jumping down the other side. Feels good, man. I mean, feels bad that you're, you know, 45 seconds behind your opponent in the race, but, you know. You gotta show off where you gotta show off, right? Alright, puzzle number 4 coming up for Znernicus. Just as he's finishing it, Sunder will be starting, so we get to watch the puzzles being put in again. The hand definitely shot off, catching Znernicus off guard there. 80 is a good average number for JRL puzzle, I feel. 80, 79 is like about my personal average. We've definitely seen a lot of high to mid 70s this tournament. 78, 77. Oh, I didn't even see that was a side piece there that Sunder just put in. Ooh, should have picked up the bottom piece there. Yeah, overall, good puzzle, but still a 79. Better to, you know, slow and steady than making all the mistakes of having a super fast, uncontrollably moving hand. You know, I think I've gotten addicted to these water flavor enhancers that you, like, you know, squirt in your water to make them taste less like just water. It's like drinking water without them, just, it's so boring nowadays. I feel like I consume way more water using them than I do without. I don't know how good or bad that is for me. Oh! Znernicus definitely just, like, took all of his hands off of his controller. That was a funny moment. Just no movement. Just... We're not doing this. Ooh, I thought Banjo was going to get caught on the ledge there. That looked like a really early time for a full jump. Alright, now we get our fast swimming number 2. See if Znernicus can keep it up. Definitely recommend fast swimming to anyone looking to get into Banjo-Tooie. I mean, obviously this category is a great place to start. Just to, like, learn the movement. Sunder is very high here. But, I mean, being high isn't that terrible. Just because you kind of get a better line down the ceiling, so it's not, like, unnecessary up and down movement. I'm just not used to people being that high over the octopus. Just because sometimes when the tentacles come on their upswing, they can smack you. Oh, sorry, Znernicus, not Sunder. I think I said Sunder's way too high. I mean, there's a wide range of ways you can swim around the octopus, but the way that Sunder is doing right here is the one that I like to do. But see how he's like so much lower than the ceiling? I feel like that might lose like fractions of time over doing it the other way. Jamjar is deciding to, you know, commit some shenanigans on Znernicus' side for once. I feel like we've seen a pretty good spread of bonks here. Although Sunder's definitely gotten the worst part of it. Alright, last leg for Znernicus. Just gotta make it past Klungo. Easy peasy. See if he goes for that slide into the water again. It looks like he tried to do it. I'm gonna have to ask if that was on purpose. Because, I mean, if it is, that's probably the best place to go for it. I mean, it's the only place you can go for it in this run. Because I think jumping into the water in JRL, I think you're a little too high. So I don't think it ever works. But I could be wrong. I don't really understand how it works. Looks like Sunder went for the slide too. Alright, blue potion, Klungo 2. So, Znernicus with the worst combination of Klungo imaginable. Red into blue. Just feels bad, man. If Sunder gets blue, then that's going to be the best possible for him. Green into blue. Although I think blue into green is probably... Oh, no, you missed. Yes, that one. No! No, no, not that. Oh, the egg hit the one in the back. Okay, we got a red potion Klungo 2 for Sunder, so not the greatest. I'd take green and red over green and blue any day. Oh man, this is rough for Znernicus. So Sunder definitely gained some time there. Znernicus is still very much ahead though. However, it does make the Hag 1 fight a little bit more interesting. I mean, we know that Znernicus is going to have an edge up in the Hag 1 fight just because Sunder does straight fire eggs and Znernicus does the grenade quick shots. But sometimes the aim isn't always the best, so... Let's see what the fade out here is for Znernicus so I can compare. Their best possible times are close, but they're not like super close. So it's like 35, 33. The fade out here is going to be like a 52 or something. So 35.50 is, so the difference between the two of them is like 27 seconds. Which is significant, but it's not like super... It's not super like run-endingly bad, I guess. For, or win-takingly bad for Znernicus, I guess. Because, I mean, making 27 seconds worth of mistakes in Hag 1 is kind of hard. But at the same time, like, it happens, like, just like that kind of thing. I don't know if you guys heard me snap my fingers into my microphone, but as Snopey showed us the other day, sometimes you can just forget how to do the fight. And I mean, every time Znernicus has to shoot, like, an extra 5 or 6 grenade eggs at Hag 1, that's going to be some time taken off the difference. Of course, it also banks on Sunder having a perfect Hag 1 as well. So... obviously, there's mistakes that can happen on both sides. Anything can happen with, like, the batteries as well. But I think... I can't remember what I saw in the first race, but if both of them are left battery firsters, then, the odds of accidentally blowing up your clockwork are pretty low. Znernicus does, Eric's. Sunder is a pure fire egg user, but Znernicus does grenade strats. And his grenade strats wildly vary in quality from one to the next. Like, Znernicus has some really fast egg strats, but sometimes he aims really high. And when he does, he just never stops firing grenades. So, I think in the group stages, like, I think he lost as many as like 10 grenade eggs on one phase of the fight. Either that or else I'm mistaking that with someone else who did the same thing, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's hard to stop firing grenades because if you stop firing, all of a sudden you have to switch eggs because grenade eggs are slow at hitting Hag 1 normally. But while you're mashing the Z button trying to shoot grenades at her, you also have to remember that you need to dodge her spells and aim properly, like fix your missed aim. So it's one of those like, oh, you better not mess it up. Yeah, see, just like that. not a great start for Znernicus. But, I mean, like I said, we still got a long fight left to go, and he's very ahead, so... even if Znernicus were to, like, completely run out of grenade eggs, I mean, at the very least, he switches to just fire eggs, and then he's as fast as Thunderstorm. So, yeah. But see, then you have shots like that. That was a very perfectly executed grenade quick shot, right? So it's like that kind of time just straight up saves time. So yeah. So sometimes the aim is good, sometimes the aim is bad. It's just the way it goes, you know? Kinda RNG. Oh yeah. Finger RNG. I'm just like so intently watching both of them, trying to like watch each of their shots. But I mean, I guess they do them at opposite times. Just kind of watching the cutscenes, think about like, I don't know. Thinking about how they be doing. Trying to figure out what I want to have for dinner after this too. I got fries in my fridge and some like frozen ribs that my parents hated, so they were like, here, you take it. And I was like, why would I want ribs that you guys hate? And they're like, well, just take them. So probably have those. You know it's quality when someone's like, here, take it, we hate it. I like that Znernicus turning around, turning the camera. Alright, not a quick text cancel there from Znernicus, but nice thug, we're giving him a nice time there. Ooh! Sunder taking some damage. Didn't quite dodge out of the way fast enough. Alright, Znernicus with his nice little gold feather strat that he said he liked doing. Okay, Sunder got one battery down. So, yeah, this race much closer than the last one. They're both about the same amount of time, like, behind each other. Again, minus their PBs. Like, Sunder is plus 106 and Znernicus is plus 103, so it's kind of funny. Oh, Znernicus, the barrage starts! Using his very last grenade to hit Grunny. Oh my god, that's so funny. I don't know how many grenades that was, but it had to have been, like, a lot. So, you know, stop, he's already dead, .gif. It's one of those, like, come on, Znernicus, you only need to shoot 3 grenades. 4 if you miss with the fire egg. Okay, Znernicus remembers not to switch to grenades here. Alright, switch to blue eggs, that's good. Alright, they're both in the final section of the fight. I think it's Znernicus' game here, so go ahead and bring up my little Discord window here. Good little nice end of the fight. Znernicus has a very neat looking fight at the end. Very good to see. Oh, Sunder barely dodged out of the way there. Alright, 1 health to go. My timer is a second behind, so I'll go ahead and split. 44-32 for Znernicus. Let's go ahead and drag him in. Alright, GG's. GG's, Znernicus.
Not quite frame count territory.
No,
thankfully.
Sunder's close, though.
I knew it was close.
Yeah, he's got 1 health left to go here. And, oh, not quite. time. 44:53 for Thunderstorm. Let's get Drag him in. Alright,
GG.
GG's.
GG.
GG's.
GG, man.
Much closer
I knew it was
race than the
close
first
going
one.
into Hag 1, and especially when I, on the 50 to 40 second battery phase, I just completely whiffed and thought maybe I blew a lot of my lead.
I don't know, something. I did something weird early in that Hag 1 fight, and I'm not sure what, because I was like not in the same position that I like normally am, and I got kind of thrown off by that.
When?
But I don't
Yeah.
know how close it was. I don't know if I even had a chance at that point.
Going into Hag 1, you were, what'd I say, at 23 seconds behind? 33, I think?
Oh, I thought it was like 15 or something. I thought it was way
No.
closer.
No,
Never
it was definitely more than 20 seconds.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sunder caught up considerably after your Klungo 2.
Yeah, so it's funny. I feel like I played this run better than the previous one, but it's a worse time. But it's just because I got so unlucky on Klungo, and then I still had a bad bonk and
Yeah.
third try code this time.
Yeah, both of you
I didn't
got
see a
third
green
try
Klungo
code.
potion at all today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, Sunder got 2 bonks this run, I think. And
Yeah.
Sunder got
Third
try
try
code.
code. Dude, I
Sunder got-
needed that MT
Oh,
was so
man.
bad. I needed that. I got third try code in both runs, but
That
yeah.
sucks. When I got third try, I thought, oh, this is your chance to catch up with good luck, but I
That's
guess it
what I
didn't
said
happen.
too. The codes were so bad today. Second try, third try in the first race, and third try in the second race.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
game making it pretty near impossible to get a 43 today, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
So one question I had for you, Znernicus, before I talk about the I guess I'll talk about Klungo first. So when you
Sure.
like accidentally left your C up, did you know the right Klungo, or because it looked like you were trying to aim for the correct one, but then you shot at the wrong one?
Yeah, it was an aiming issue, not a not knowing which
Oh, okay.
Klungo it was
Gotcha.
issue.
Yeah. And the thing I was gonna ask is, when in Pine Grove, when you go for the jump into the water, do you purposely try and go for the quick dive there?
No, actually, I forgot to mention this after the first race, but something weird happened that I had never seen before, where like I somehow died extra early.
So you know
But then
how
my camera was backwards when I did Talent Torpedo, so I ate a bunch of lag.
yeah, I mean that's just because you were in front of the rock, like really close, kind of thing. That happens sometimes. So quick diving in Banjo-Tooie, if you slide into the water just right, it's like you know how sometimes when you slide off ledges, you can do mid-air jumps? It's kind of a mid-air jump in the water, being able to dive correctly.
Oh, wow. That was totally by accident on
If-
that first race.
If you mash B button to dive too fast when you do a quick dive like that, you'll dive the opposite direction because you'll be facing that way when you like come out of Talon Trot, right? So
Crazy.
yeah, so
Didn't know
that happens if you slide into the water like a certain way, but it's pretty hard to do. But it can happen all the time. Like you know, people see it happen all the time when you in other categories when you leave Talon Torpedo and you kind of slide into the water from like the ledge. Any kind of ledge that's slightly above the water, you can do it, but I don't think you can do it in bigger ledges like sliding into the water from JRL from the town. I don't know if you can quick dive there. But
I don't know, but that's a cool little tech I didn't know about.
yeah.
I just want to say that I'm very proud of myself for not recombining this time in Plateau.
Yeah, that was another thing I forgot to mention, but it almost looked like you just fully let go of your controller. Just like...
That's what I do now.
Yeah.
After having been victim of the, like, run right past the switch and recombine, my strat now is just, like, let go of the joystick when I think I'm reaching the switch.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't overshoot it.
Yeah, it was funny. Just all your inputs just entirely stopped at that point, and I was like, "Oh, that's the don't do anything, don't move, don't do it."
Yeah.
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 It was
what
nice
kind of
seeing.
stuff happened on Thunderstorm, like on your side.
Yeah, it was.
Just a really bad MT and bad RNG. I think. I don't know if I'm forgetting something. I tumbled on the treble and MT.
Oh, that's annoying. Yeah.
I think some. What else happened? I don't really remember. I think a lot of just small mistakes added up too.
Much better GGM early.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
You got
this time I saw
you
we
got
were pretty close together.
insanely lucky on your green potion Klungo, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah.
What was wrong with it?
Well, your egg shot was really late, and so.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Klungo like fully disappears by the time your egg is like near, if he runs backwards like towards the entrance, your egg would have cracked. It was very close, but luckily.
Did I shoot it as soon as I turned around, or did I just poop the first egg too late?
I would have to go back to like get details, but I remember at the time I was like, I think it was because you jumped into place and then you pooped your egg, and so.
Also, like the poop came out a little later than usual.
I don't remember. Here, let me actually just bring it up. Just so I can kind of leave it at this. At the same time, I'm trying to think of.
I feel like I like dodge the sixth potion, get into spot, poop the egg, and shit. Like I feel like I do all of those as fast as I can, but maybe I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, the time between you like move out of the way and poop the egg is like usually really tight.
I don't know. I was told not to do everything too fast because if you if you shoot forward too early, sometimes like it'll be too early of a shot and it'll like crack on him without hitting.
Yeah, I think that was happening to me like when I was I don't know. It's been so long since I practiced it, so I can't really
it's one
say
of those
for certain,
weird
but I feel like
things
that
where
was
you want to
happening.
do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely happened to me in practice. It's weird because you want to do it like comfortably fast, but not as fast as possible.
Yeah, so I just went back and
Right.
watched. So what you did is you ran into place and then you like stood there for a second before pooping your egg. So, because you want your egg to be already bouncing by the time the potion hits you, but what happened is like you basically pooped your egg into the potion. And so when that happens, your egg forward is like too late. And so if you go back and watch the VOD, you'll see that Klungo has already like well disappeared before your egg is like even kind of there.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
You just happen to run.
I'll just have to practice because I feel like the reason I do that is because when I was practicing it, I would poop the egg really early, and it just like would miss the potion, and I would get hit. And so I was like waiting a little bit, but I probably just need to practice it.
It's a combination of like how far you're walking. Like if you're dodging the potions left and right, like too far, and you're doing too much walking, that also affects the timing. So
sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of different moving parts, but I mean, in this race, it looked like you just got like really lucky with your egg shot, or with how Klungo decided to move, because there's definitely been a lot.
I mean,
of
I never
times
got
where
it like 100% consistent, so I probably am just every time I get it, I get lucky.
Yeah, if you did it the way you did it today, but just like immediately pooped when you like got to the spot and then shot your egg forward, I think it would have looked absolutely fine. Just kind of removes the RNG. You stood in a good spot for your egg shot regardless. So on the little fork of green that's kind of on the ground there. So that's good.
I just remembered another funny little thing where I made the same exact movement error on the first Fruity and Witchy World, both runs. Where I somehow like pick up the note perfectly, but then I jumped and hit the back of the handle.
Yeah.
In like the same exact way twice.
Oh yeah, I wanted to also say your 40 to 30 phase for Hag 1. I think it was 40 to 30 where you shot like 15 grenades.
40 to 30 was I was already out of grenades, and so I just used fire eggs.
That's right.
It was the 50 to 40 that went really poorly, and like my frame rate started dropping because I just kept firing the grenades and trying to realign the aim.
Yeah.
But it took like at least maybe 5 to 10 seconds to correct it.
Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the Hag 1 fight because I was like, well, Znernicus is like almost 30 seconds ahead, so he has to make some mistakes. But I think at least in every one of your races, there's at least some point where you just absolutely barrage Hag 1 with grenade eggs. Just because your grenade quick shots are really good, but when they're really high, you never stop shooting grenades. And I like that because then you have to.
That's the right way to adjust it, right? You don't want to stop shooting
absolutely.
because then you lose the fast.
Yeah.
You lose the rapid fire effect.
Absolutely, but then when you can't get your aim just right, all of a sudden you're playing in like 5 frames per second trying to readjust. It always looks really funny.
Yeah, it gets kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Hag 1 is just like that because you either are on or you're really off.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I can hit like 4 perfect quick shot rounds and then completely whiff the 5th one. So
yeah, I totally get that.
All right, well, hard to be consistent.
Yeah, Znernicus, you'll be moving into the winner's semi-final round. Congratulations on your win. You will be racing the winner of Haginator versus General Toucans. So.
Oh, I could get a rematch. That'd be cool.
So hopefully that that race will schedule up there. Sunder, you'll be moving down into the losers bracket where you will be racing Flameforged.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. So both of y'all. Well, I guess Znernicus has to wait, but you could schedule up.
I'll be rooting for Toucans so I can do it again.
Who's Haginator? His name is still Haginator on Challenge. Okay, so that's just I just read it off of Challenge. Okay. Yeah, Hag, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, yeah. Any last words for the stream at all before I probably raid Tip Top?
Nope.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely got to work on my consistency.
Game 2 a little bit more entertaining.
It's definitely more entertaining when you don't have to just sit from the beginning like, well, he's behind over a minute, like 5 minutes into the run, so.
Yeah, I was like actually sweating in game 2 after, especially after missing Klungo 2, like losing a whole 30 seconds on that. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah, it's really rough when you're ahead, but you're not ahead by enough that you have to like any mistake you get off scot-free. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go make some dinner. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.
Thanks. Good night.